Welcome to PLN India's weekly legal bulletin. I'm Sanjana, bringing you the biggest legal developments from across India's courts and regulatory landscape. This week, the Supreme Court calls for a humane policy on the release of elderly and terminally ill prisoners, delivers an important ruling on inherited agricultural property, grants interim protection in Rajasthan's Operation Clean matter, and high courts continue to emphasize speedy justice and procedural fairness. Let's begin. Supreme Court highlight: humane release policy for elderly and terminally ill prisoners. In a significant judgment reinforcing constitutional values, the Supreme Court directed all states and union territories to formulate a policy within 3 months for the early or compassionate release of elderly and terminally ill prisoners. The court observed that the right to life and human dignity under Article 21 does not end at the prison gates. It stressed that incarceration should not deprive prisoners of humane treatment, especially those facing advanced age or serious medical conditions. The judgment is expected to influence prison administration and correctional policies across the country. Property law. Class 1 heirs get preferential right over agricultural land. In another important ruling, the Supreme Court clarified that Section 22 of the Hindu Succession Act, 1956, applies to inherited agricultural land as well. The court held that Class 1 heirs enjoy a statutory preferential right when another heir proposes to transfer inherited agricultural property. This judgment provides much-needed clarity in succession disputes involving agricultural land and strengthens the statutory rights of legal heirs. Constitutional watch. Supreme Court grants interim relief in Rajasthan's Operation Clean. The Supreme Court granted interim relief by staying coercive action for 2 weeks in matters arising out of Rajasthan's Operation Clean, a government initiative aimed at removing alleged encroachments on government land. The interim order allows the court to examine competing claims involving public land management, due process, and individual rights before any irreversible action is taken. The matter raises broader constitutional questions concerning administrative fairness and the exercise of executive power. High Court watch. Karnataka. High Court calls for speedy justice. The Karnataka High Court criticized the prolonged delay in the trial of a child abuse case that had remained pending for nearly 12 years. Directing the trial to be completed within 8 weeks, the court reiterated that justice delayed can seriously affect both victims and the credibility of the criminal justice system. The judgment reinforces the constitutional importance of a speedy trial as an essential component of fair criminal justice. The Times of India. This week's legal trend: human dignity, due process, and rights-based governance. This week's developments highlight 3 important themes shaping Indian jurisprudence. First, constitutional dignity continues to guide prison reforms and criminal justice. Second, the Supreme Court is strengthening statutory rights in areas such as succession and property law. And third, courts remain committed to ensuring that executive action and criminal proceedings comply with the principles of fairness, proportionality, and due process. Together, these decisions reflect a judiciary focused on balancing governance with constitutional protections. That concludes this week's Supreme Court Weekly Legal Bulletin. For verified legal news, landmark judgments, constitutional analysis, and practical legal insights, stay connected with PLN India. I'm Sanjana. Thank you for watching.